We're back, baby. Emperor's Children Commission Part 2, Daemon Princes, let's go! So, welcome back to Nerdess Miniatures. Today, we are embarking on an adventure that rivals that of Frodo journeying all the way to Mordor with the One Ring. Well, that might be a little bit overdramatic, but the Daemon Princes of Slaanesh deserve a little bit of drama. This is part 2 of our Emperor's Children commission, and I am so stoked to show you these models, so let's get started. First, let's go ahead and get these absolute units together. These are quite a bit bigger than what I had originally anticipated them being, so they ended up being really cool to put together. But we also decided that we were going to magnetize the jetpacks and the wings for 2 reasons: ease of transportation and shipping, and then so that these models can be used as the variants that they have, whether you want to use the wings or the jetpacks for whatever playstyle you're deciding on using at that time. So we're going to go ahead and prime these with the airbrush with our normal Vallejo black primer, and then we're going to move on to Broodmother Purple from the Army Painter Airline. Now, this is going to be our base coat. This is going to serve as all of our shadow color and everything, so you want to lay this on nice and thick, kind of like my mother-in-law's guilt trips.
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
Next, we're going to go in with Alien Purple. This is going to be our very first highlight, and from the wings, it's going to be sprayed from about a 65-degree angle from the top. Then you're going to take it and you're going to use volumetric highlighting to highlight all of the armor pieces. And now we're going to move into Jade. We're going to take this Jade and we're going to spray it from about a 45-degree angle. We only want this color to go about halfway down the wings. And now we're going to take Bright Jade and we're going to do the same thing, only from about a 30-degree angle. We want this on the top, like maybe 1/3 of the wings. And lastly, we're going to take just a tiny bit of the Bold Titanium White and brighten up that Bright Jade just a smidge and angle this from the very, very top. And after that, you should have something that looks like this. So now for all of our skin pieces and the bony kind of prominences on the wings. We're going to start with a base color of dark purple. This is going to serve as all of our shadows and give us a nice, good, clean plate to work with. Next, we're going to work up in layers using purple, plum, and faded plum, all mixed with dark neutral gray, and bright neutral gray. Now, I pull in these gray colors to kind of desaturate this plum color. It's a little bit bright, and we wanted this to look more kind of like a bone, dead flesh kind of thing, just a little bit more with still that purple tie-in to the rest of the model. So we're just going to take this and work in layers, remembering our volumetric highlighting, remembering to take our highlights all the way up to the top of the muscle groups and connect our muscle groups so that we don't get lonely little islands, and make sure that everything really connects and reads well together. Now, to blend all of these colors together seamlessly, we're doing a lot of glazing. And I mean a lot of glazing. And one thing you really have to remember with glazing, believe me, I've done it, I've made the mistake too. I got in a hurry and I got splotchy because you forget to wick off the excess on your brush. You cannot work with a really wet brush when you're glazing. You have to wick off that excess and you work in very, very thin layers. It's almost gonna look like you're not putting any paint on there, but it is. You are putting paint. It's just very small amounts of paint. You're just gonna work this up until it produces a very nice, easy transition. You also want to remember with glazing that the most amount of pigment that is deposited is on the end of your brush stroke. So when you are depositing this pigment, make sure you are working in the direction where you want the most pigment to go. You don't want to start at your highlight point and then drag the paint down, because then you're dragging the highlight down and you're going to get splotchiness and unevenness. So you're going to start where it's darkest and work your way up to the lightest point. So if your highlight's here and your shadow's down here, you'll start closer to your shadow and move up and then let go of your brush at the top. Now it's time to hit all of the trim with rich gold. Now I would normally tell you to base all of your gold parts in brown because brown is the easiest to work with gold. They're close together on the color wheel. The gold has better coverage over brown, so you don't have to do as many layers of the gold to get a nice even coat. That's why I normally use brown. I didn't this time because this gold has a really, really good coverage, so we just went straight in with it and it turned out really good. Now, I always try to layer my metallics because I just feel like it looks better. It adds some depth and some character to the gold and they don't look quite so cartoonish, toy looking, if you know what I mean. So now we're gonna take my favorite teeny tiny dry brush, which happens to also be a makeup brush, which you can totally use makeup brushes, you can use your old ones or you can buy new ones, and they work just as well. They're actually really excellent dry brushes. Now, I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was wrong with this paint job. Why wasn't it singing to me? Why did it just kind of fall flat? And it finally clicked. I did not bring up the purple highlights in the armor far enough. I kind of took it halfway and thought it was good, and then we got close to the end and I was just like, this isn't working for me. So we're going to take some Liquitex masking fluid and we're gonna mask the entire miniature except for the armor parts. So here we go. So we just punched up the highlights off camera with some more vibrant purple, and here we go. That's so much better. And now it's time to tidy in the last final tiny details like the skulls, the eyes, the gems, and the matching loincloth, and then we're on to the weapon. So I started off with the weapon being this dark metallic silver kind of color with gold trim, but the client really didn't like it. It just wasn't singing to them, and they had this idea of making it more of a power weapon, like the blue colors. So that's what we did. So we taped off all the edges, took all of these beautiful blues, and we wet blended the bejesus out of this thing. Until we got something that looked kind of like this. And with that, these Daemon Princes are ready to cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. So if you've made it this far in the video, we just want to say thank you so very much from the bottom of our hearts for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked it. We have our website up where we're selling some of our miniatures and we post all kinds of things. We have our Patreon if you feel interested in going and jumping over there and taking a look at that. We want to thank our Patreon members so much for helping to support the channel in that way. It means a whole lot to us, so thank you very much. You can also follow us over on TikTok and Instagram if you want more small updates in, bite-sized chunks on what we're doing. And lastly, our Etsy shop is still up and going, so head on over there if you're interested in any of our DM stash packs. We are still running the Etsy shop currently until we get everything all sorted out over on our Squarespace website. So once that's done, we'll let you guys know. But until next time, thank you so very much. See ya.